Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 is about to be live in the DPC Division 2 between Balrogs and South Team. It is currently 1-0 for the Balrogs side, and game 1 was a pretty close affair, but in the end, what did really go wrong for South Team, Arjarath?
So I think the fact that they had to rely so much on gyrocopter damage, and he was already countered by Lifestealer's pick on the fourth pick by Balrogs Esports. So we actually mentioned on the start of the game, I said that the Balrogs draft was better in my vision. So yeah, I feel like you need to watch out what kind of HC hard carry you're going to pick, especially when you have some hard counters available on the other side. And I mean, you can still make it work, but you can't like lose those huge primal split team fights that they needed to win. And the fact that Hermit, I mean, his itemization, the items that he built were fine, but it got to a moment where he didn't have like BKB to overcome the silence, the controls, so he wasn't able to use the primal splits anymore and maybe try to force a team fight with Gyro. So yeah, I think that sums up the problems out from South Team. And let's see how the game 2 goes, Truman. I'm anxious for game 3. So yeah, let's see how that goes.
We'll jump into the draft of game 2. It is on the way right now. And let's see what heroes will be secured and chosen. We do get to see another Weaver pick coming out from the Balrog side. Tiny as well. They're going to stick to their guns in that regard. Dawnbreaker for South Team, but they will be adding a Coddle on top.
Okay, Coddle, Dawnbreaker, both heroes are flexible. We don't know which lane they are going to play at, and Balrogs just repeating the same picks from game 1, but as I already mentioned, those picks like Tiny Weaver, they can also be flexible on maybe not on every lane, but on lots of lanes here. And I mean, on the last ban, Balrogs respects the Visage, also the Brewmaster out from Hermit. I mean, they are trying to ban as most out of the heroes that Hermit plays. Yeah, Lycan, Beastmaster, Brewmaster, all those heroes in the hand of Hermit, it's a hassle. So I respect the bans here out from Balrogs.
Yeah, they're making sure that Hermit has not the heroes that he prefers. They also picked up the Tiny, which on the side of Balrogs, which is another hero that Hermit does tend to choose in case, you know, all the options have been taken. And in this case, that is definitely going to be, has come through. So Clockwork added in on the Balrog side. Could be a 5. I would assume it's going to be another 5/5 Clockwork for the Balrogs. The Weaver could still flex to a position 4, but we saw, of course, Queen Tekka last game having a pretty good time on the Weaver. So it wouldn't be surprising to me, at least, if they ran that as another off lane.
And it somewhat leaves open the possibility of having a Weaver late game with Aghanims. So if they are trying to like focus on a huge HC like Medusa or something, Balrogs, they still have this opportunity on their possibilities. And now we see Marcy from South Team and also Terrorblade. And instant response here on Balrogs, they pick Zeus, which is the mid lane of this patch, I'd say. Good against Terrorblade. You're gonna apply so much magical damage on his head. Yeah, so I feel like both drafts are balanced so far. I don't think that anything stands out because it was at this moment that South Team kinda screwed up a little bit on their draft because they left out that Lifestealer open and the Lifestealer countered the 4th pick Gyro. But so far, we don't see like anything huge. Aside from that huge damage output from Zeus on Terrorblade. That's what I think that's happening here. And let's see the last 2 bans.
Yeah, I think the Zeus is a really solid choice because it destroys TB, especially because he does percentage-based damage, and TB tends to be a hero that is very weak in the early game
Mhm.
against magic damage burst. It does mean that it's probably a Zeus mid, and then I would assume it's a tiny 4 position for Pamplona, Weaver off lane, Clockwork as their 5, and they just need a safe lane to deal with the TB. Though South team doesn't know that for
Mhm.
sure. As you can see in their bans, they ban out the PL, but also the Enigma. So they're thinking either the Weaver or the Tiny could also be positioned as a safe lane in this game.
10 seconds remain. 5
Yeah, there we go. Let's see the last ban out from Balrogs, banning out Invoker. And I like the Zeus pick anyway. As you mentioned, we don't know if it's going to be a Zeus mid, but the thing is, like, you complement Clockwork so much, and also Tiny, with that initiation damage, and they can find Keeper of the Light more easily with Zeus on their side, so I appreciate the pick. Balrogs, they are thinking
10 seconds.
like well with their draft. So let's see the last pick from South Team. They banned Enigma and also Void Spirit. I mean, Void Spirit, elusive hero, can apply magical damage on Terrorblade as well. Can, like, as you mentioned, Tiny, as an HC, they are kind of predicting this possibility. So the ban out on Void Spirit, trying to like maybe not screw up on this pick, on this ban.
Yeah, Void Spirit would be pretty strong against Zeus and also against the Weaver, kinda, to chase him down, and just a lot of burst. And against the Zeus in mid, there are a lot of heroes that are pretty good against the Zeus, so he definitely does have to be fairly careful. You also need to find a hero that does not get countered by the enemy's safe laner. Either it could also just be a Coddle mid. I actually assume it's a Coddle mid for South Team, and they're just going to be picking up a Hermit last pick off lane with again Dawnbreaker 4, Marcy 5, and yeah, I assume that's just going to be the off lane for Hermit with Coddle versus Zeus mid matchup. It's like both of them are not really going to kill each other. They're just going to farm next to each other. But I really like South Team's draft a lot more than in game 1.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, they patched up
5
the
seconds.
problems that they had. So yeah, I like the draft as well. Underlord last pick, you see probably a Clockwork as support 5 that isn't going to be a huge problem for Underlord due to the fact that he's so tanky with his third skill. So yeah, Underlord certainly a good pick here. And what leaves Balrogs for last pick? I mean, what they are going to pick here? That's my question. Are they aiming for a middle lane? Just
Nah, Zeus should be mid. Yeah, they're gonna go Bloodseeker, and that's their safe. Tiny 4 probably, unless they're gonna make this a Zeus 4, which technically still could be possible. But honestly, I think Zeus mid is a very good choice against the TB to try and take down Rena this game. Benny Bloodseeker. I actually really like South Team's draft here. I think they have pretty much everything they need. They've got nice AoE control with the Underlord, Pit of Malice, and then you hit them with the Dawnbreaker ulti on top, and you just so many nice combos. Plus TB very farmed could wreck the Balrogs lineup.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. Their timing seems to be ready for early pressure. Kind of better than Balrogs due to the fact that Bloodseeker is a hero that needs to build a BKB before joining the team fights. And otherwise, if Benny joins the team fights before that BKB, it's clearly gonna be a problem for me. Sorry, and I don't know, man. South team with a good draft, they just need to watch out Benny's Bloodseeker, because if Benny gets like a little bit too strong here, buying that Aghanim Shard and also like not punishing this hero correctly, he could like certainly destroy Hermit even with like 4 points on his third skill. So yeah, but I'm with you. I like South team on this draft a little bit better.
Well, we'll have to wait and see if they can, of course, perform at the same level as the Balrogs, because they're definitely going to need to. Right now, if Balrogs would win this series, that would force South Team into a three-way tiebreaker with Gorilla's Pride and Balrogs. Or, of course, that survival in the DPC, which is, of course, a big plus. The other big plus is that you at least would make the 7k. I think it's 9k. They would compete for 7k, 9k, or nothing, and well, the nothing definitely is the one that tends to hurt a lot after 6 weeks of heavy investment.
Prepare for battle.
Yeah, sure. It's tiresome to play these matches. Like, it is a high level of Dota, so it certainly is stressful. So yeah, man, you want to go home with some money on the bag for sure. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Pamplona just warding the high ground there. I don't think South Team saw Pamplona. Otherwise, they could be like just placing a sentry immediately. So yeah, they have good vision on the high ground, and they can dodge this team fight or maybe set up a team fight for their side as well. But I don't know, like especially Tiny, it's a Tiny support. Yeah, actually they can engage on 5v5 if they want. I don't know if it's gonna be the best engage, but they can.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a skerfuffle, but I assume it's just going to be a 2-for-2 bounty rune trade and no weird shenanigans happening. It's another game where they managed to get the Dawnbreaker and the Marcy on South Team. I'm still baffled at the fact that they managed to secure those.
With the fate of the universe and the pride of 10 people on the line.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to predict some draft decisions. I agree with you, especially like on the late
Queen Tech is dead.
Late side of the tournament, like on the. Is he?
No, almost.
Oh.
He does have Shikuchi now, but Pamplona
Almost.
with the Avalanche does save him. However, Green Tekka did have to use his Fairy Fire already in the lane, and that is pretty painful. But in return, they forced out the Metamorphosis from Rina, so it's pretty a-okay. Actually, they're going to go in on Pamplona to try and deal as much damage as
And they
possible.
get Pamplona though.
And both of them taking so much damage already.
But as you said, they denied the Metamorphosis, and Quinteka already bringing up a solve for his lane. And on this kind of situation, you just like leave Tiny trying to handle the last hits if Weaver in this offlane gets like too low. But yeah, he's already healthy with
Shikuchi already.
Watch out, Quinteka.
Yeah, the problem with level 1 Shikuchi is 15-second cooldown. That is hard to deal with. Virgil quickly counter warding, making sure that, of course, they have the sentry advantage. So Rina can be just easily farming, and what you can't Shikuchi to try and get a last hit on a creep in that lane anymore, because you know that you're gonna get jumped. Luckily enough, Virgil didn't have dispose yet, but he will have it next, and that is gonna be, especially once CB gets his Metamorphosis available again, that should be a kill every time.
They want Quinteka again, but he has Shikuchi. And what I was trying to say before that engage on Quinteka is that the fact on the late stage of the tournaments, sometimes you see lots of like broken heroes passing by and like no one banning them. For example, on the last TI, Collapse Magnus, I don't think it was banned once. I don't know, I don't really record, but they try to handle out some decisions by like leaving those heroes open. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's a characteristic, sorry, for the late stage of the tournament. Top lane again.
Okay, I guess there's a lot of action going on in top lane. I was just watching the two mid laners just farming next to each other, James and Robo. See, Zeus versus a Coddle lane is mesmerizing to watch. Them just right-click creeps. James probably wants to steal the enemy creep camp soon as well, because that's one big plus that the Coddle of course has compared to almost every other mid laner, is he is just so heavy on the flash farm. But very little kill threat on the opposing hero.
Yeah, there we go. Trading farm on middle lane. James, I liked how Balrogs on the start of the match, they blocked the easy camp out of Kotal, but James just like bought a sentry, or maybe someone dropped. And there he goes, like 5v5 again, trying to deny those sentries, these easy camp. And actually, James gonna be the victorious one here.
No.
Because the camp is still open for him to farm.
Oh, he just placed a new sentry ward on 5v5. So
Oh,
he
okay,
countered
okay.
it again.
That's a huge investment.
After James counter-warded the enemy's ward, he counter-warded... That's just pretty filthy. Bottom lane,
Okay.
a lot of damage. But he's not having as much farm as he wants, and it is going to be first blood secured in the top lane onto Queen Taka, so they do manage to finally get that first blood secured. Rina's got pretty A-okay farm so far, and the laning stage is looking nice for South Team currently.
Especially with that first blood on Rina. Nice usage of Metamorphosis again. So, like, getting Queen Tekka, he goes in, wastes Shukuchi. But they don't have the damage to kill that Weaver again. Or do they? No, not on Virgil alone, he can't do it. But nice try
Rina needs to be
out
careful.
from South Team. Trying to punish that Weaver.
Virgil, he had a rebound available, but RoboZ solo kills James in mid, and Virgil dies in the top lane at the same time. Also, with everyone being low, that's a big buff for Benny. In comes the Zeus ulti. Benny is just super fast because everyone is too low to run. Rina top lane dies, and they actually get a team
Wow.
wipe on the map. On Balrogs, in 5 minutes time, they get a full team wipe.
It's like it was kind of a butterfly effect with that solo kill on middle lane. RoboZ getting the 6, having mana to ult and kill everyone else, and it's impressive execution here from Balrogs. Pamplona probably gonna hit the dust here on top lane.
Yep.
And yeah,
seems to be the
nice
case.
rotations out from Monty.
From my stone.
Let's put Hermit solo in that bottom lane, but
I like how they...
RoboZ.
Yeah, they
loving
need to watch
life.
out on bottom lane.
Yeah, this is a pretty good game for RoboZ. Though it's just slightly ahead of Rina. Actually, Queen Taka is gonna die again. Rina Quinn with a killing spree. Oh, that is pretty quick. Killing spree after he just died as well. James is now the next one in trouble towards mid. A 3-man move to kill off James, and that is going to put RoboZ in a very comfortable spot. It's really going to be the Zeus versus the TB, and in the early to mid lane, mid game, Zeus is so much stronger than TB.
Yeah. RoboZ, he wants to rotate on a Hermit as well with that haste. Can he do it though? Do they have the damage? They actually do. Oh boy, it's looking south here for South Team. It's going south, I mean, sorry. I couldn't stand it.
I
My bad.
know, but it's not that bad because Rina is top net worth, and the TB is actually.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, Rina is just having a really good time. Even though he died once, he has 5 kills and 3 assists. Which is...
Yeah, Terrorblade.
Wait, how does he have 5 kills and 3 assists?
I mean, one thing that we need to point out.
No, a quick question. How does he have 5 kills and 3 assists when they have 5 kills in total?
Yeah.
What?
You're actually right. How come? It doesn't make sense at all. Like, South Team, they don't have 8 kills on their board, so it doesn't make sense. I don't know, man. Things are weird on this cast today. That Weaver, it was clearly the jinx moment for weird things to happen.
Did he get an
T-pose
assist
Weaver.
on himself? I don't really know how the frick this is even possible. Please, someone clip that and send it to You know, Reddit, let them figure out what the hell what
Oh.
happened here, because that is just
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, today I kind of spotted a strange thing as well. Like, if you press attack button on the outpost, even if you already have it, you are going to channel the animation on
Dire's top tower is
the channel animation when you are trying to fetch the outpost. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you press attack button, even if you have the outpost for you, it's gonna channel the animation again. It's strange, man.
Yeah,
It happened on my ranked game today.
I've had that before as well. Yeah, that is annoying little habit that the game still has for some reason. Game's TPing top to defend it. I guess giving mid to I don't really think you want to put the TB against the Zeus at this stage. But I guess they want to let Rina farm the mid lane, and then Zeus takes top, even though, sorry, the Coddle takes top, which I do find fairly strange, because Zeus can probably, in like a solid 3 to 4 seconds, blow up the TB.
Yeah. One thing that we need to point out is the fact that Quinteka died 3 times in a row. So it's clearly going to hit on his items progression. So Quinteka, he wants to get that treads. So in order to get a little bit more stats. And I feel like if they stack some heroes on top lane, they can try to get the tower. But it's not so easy because you have a Koto defending the creep waves. So yeah, the fact that they managed to punish that Weaver 3 times certainly going to stall the game a little bit for South team, especially when Zeus RoboZ was getting so much out of these rotations and also his ultimate usage. So nice job here from South team. And yeah, it's a stall game at the moment. They're just trying to farm and fetch a little bit more farm and items.
Actually, wait, how many times did they die on the Radiant side? They died 5 times. I was thinking maybe he got an assist for like tower kills or creep kills on them, but no, that's also not even the case. I'm still baffled at this freaking weird bug. It pisses me off, and I really want to figure out why it even exists. There's zero logic to be found there. There has to be a reason. Did that last patch just screw up the entire game? We get Weavers just, you know, spreading arms and legs all over the place. Right now, not. Unfortunately, we don't get to see the Quinteka bug. But yeah, Quinteka is having a pretty horrible game compared to last one. And he's actually going for the full power trends, which on a Weaver's not something that you see ever these days anymore, because the hero doesn't really need boots with Shikuchi.
Yeah, that's something that you can do also on Lycan, like ignoring the boots once you have like high movement speed with some abilities. But yeah, he did the same thing on the last game as well, so yeah, he likes that early stats apparently. And he's going for Maelstrom again, like the same Weaver damage-oriented build.
But he doesn't finish the vessel.
Maybe not finishing the vessel first.
And that is
Yeah,
worrying
that's
against
I was.
against Dawnbreaker, Marcy, and Coddle. Like, there's a lot of healing on the South team side, so I definitely think that it is kind of a must to have a Spirit Vessel on your team. If not a Spirit Vessel, someone who goes for a quick Skadi or Shivas, but both of those are not really. I mean, maybe Bloodseeker, Benny can later get it, but he needs Milsom, BKB, Basher, Shard. And that's going to take a long time before you get to Skadi.
And maybe the reason behind that is the fact that they don't want to engage and like get some vessel charges unless they engage on a defensive stance, like trying to hold up towers, and they are going to leave Quinteka splitting and fetching farm and on maybe when he gets his Maelstrom, he then decides to build the Vessel. I'd say that's the thing about that decision. They are trying to rotate on Robo-Z. Okay, he manages to escape, so nice readings there from Robo-Z, even without vision.
They had vision, they
Kinda
just
saw
counter-worded the vision.
things going bad on his side.
Rogue,
Oh, okay.
He,
Okay,
he-
nice.
he did see
I
them
didn't see that.
nearby. Yeah,
Okay.
they literally just counter-worded the moment you said that. And so it did vanish
Mhm.
from your sight. They do have an observer ward nearby, so if Robo-Z tries to counter that, that could be... It is not in the most common position, the South team ward, but it is looking pretty good on their side, because Benny, he had a super good lane, and still he is just so far behind Rena right now.
Yeah, Rina doing the work. On the last game as well, using Gyro, he was the top net worth of the game, like contesting Benny all the time. So this guy knows how to farm, man. You gotta stand up for him. And Dragonlance Yasha, that's the items he's building right now. Maybe going for Manta. Yeah, I'd say he's going to buy that Manta, but he's marking here on his quick buy a Skadi and a BKB. Is this a casual Yasha scenario? What do you think, Truman?
I think probably a casual Yasha might decide either. It wouldn't be too surprising if he later decides to go for the SNY instead of the Manta style, because status resistance is going to be pretty useful this game to have. Manta style is still always very nice, but the only thing that you get rid of is the silence from the Bloodseeker, and for the most part you'll have your BKB by that time pretty quickly anyway, because you can split open your items. I think a fast Skadi is actually super advantageous for them, so that they can easily take down this Bloodseeker if he's massively slowed. And Bloodseeker is also a hero that really relies on his lifesteal from the Thirst.
Okay. So yeah, the game goes on, more farming, Pamplona almost reaching that dagger timing as well. I mean, 15 minutes in, 16 minutes in, if he doesn't die, he's probably gonna have that item available. And maybe they are going to move and try to pick off here. But feels like both teams are okay with trading farm, especially Benny, right? Because Benny, as we mentioned on the draft phase, he needs that BKB. So
No hook shot coming in
Yeah, there we
onto
go.
Virgil. He does
Oh,
disengage
engage.
easily. Rupture onto James. And they're going to try and chase him down. He is running very far. The heal will not be able to keep him alive. He forgot about the fact that they're playing against Zeus. Double kill comes in. Robo-Z gets both of them. And he zaps away at his opponents. And yeah, that is pretty much a very stupid mistake from James. He probably should get himself some... what are they called? No. We're gonna have to cheat. Infuse raindrops.
raindrop?
Because that was...
Which one?
Yeah,
Hmm.
it is very stupid that he runs away and is hoping for that healing from the Dawnbreaker to stay out of the Bloodseeker's range, but completely forgets about the fact that you're playing against the Zeus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the Zeus that like rushed Kaya, so like big damage output on his skills, especially with Fairy's Trinket. So maybe a raindrop here is gonna work out for him. But yeah, like a big mistake on positioning from South team, because they were like okay with trading farm at this moment, but Virgil, he went to a point that you can't ignore the hero and you need to get that kill, like Clockwork using his abilities, fetching the kill and the pick-off. So yeah, they need to watch out a little bit more.
Yeah, don't stand a bit too far forward in these engagements. And also make sure that you... I mean, a pipe would probably also be very advantageous for them, but it's mainly the Zeus that brings in a lot of magic damage. Queen Taka almost has his Maelstrom, so he'll also do give or take about the same. Luckily enough, Rina didn't falter in that engagement, but this Robo Zeus is going to be an eyesore for South Team to deal with. They do have a couple of heroes that can jump him, but there's also a lot of peel with a nice tiny toss. Hook shot from the Clockwork and the like to make sure that they keep the Zeus alive.
Yeah, nice protection there. Zeus didn't die. Clockwork just like being on the front line, I mean, and thinking up aggressions. They want to take down the tier 1, but they have the glyph, so maybe Balrogs can defend this, especially with Benny's TP. There we go.
Well, Rina is going to get blown up pretty
man.
quickly, and they're just melting. South Team is absolutely decimated. Robozy,
Wow.
he's just pumping out too much damage in these fights, and they can't handle it whatsoever. Pamplona chasing Monty, Avalanche interrupts, toss back onto Queen Tekka, and that is going to be 4 kills to be secured. And a huge team fight victory for the Balrogs. Net worth jumps in their favor, and Robozy 8-0-3 on this Zeus right now, looking absolutely deadly. The TB, I don't really... I mean, I know they want the tier 1 tower, but I don't really get why you are trying to force the issue when you just don't have any HP to survive a fight.
Uh-huh.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, I agree with you, especially because he didn't buy the Manta. He went for that casual Yasha, and it didn't really pay off on this last team fight because, as we saw, like, he got silenced, avalanche, tossed, and then he died because Robo Z is applying so much magical damage right now, and that's like props for Balrogs on that reading. The review of Pamplona's dagger as well, as we mentioned, it was about to hit on 16 minutes in, and there we go, Pamplona trying to find someone again. He went for James, actually. He just stand on the high ground to get some vision because they don't have any wards there, but yeah, like, I mean, good job from Pamplona. You gotta mention it.
Yeah, he's trying to make those plays. In the meantime, Robozy is rushing the Ags, is getting close to... Well, he has pretty much done with 2 pieces already of the Ags. And that's going to be a huge item because then anywhere on the map, if you get an Avatar's combo and you should be able to get a kill secured, Benny will actually be just fine, and Rupture Virgil is going to go for the TP and gets cancelled in the process. Yeah. Maybe if you toss Benny into the Illuminate, could have been a chance to get something done, but you kind of already saw James trying to run away. That feels like there's a bit of a disperse between the South team in their handling of situations. Some people want to go in, some people don't. Rina just needs to focus on farming, and that should be his only focus at this stage in the game. You're not going to win early against this Balrogs.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, they can hold up their side of the map so strongly, and like one pick off and they just go in on their side of the map. Pamplona gets the observer ward on the high ground, so they are starting like to get more comfortable on the map, because when you get so much dewarding, like, what kind of play are you going to hop in? And Balrog, they are just like so comfortable on farming the Benny after that kill on Rina. If Rina didn't die there, maybe they were going to be like a little bit more anxious on pressuring their side of the map, on South team's side of the map. But yeah, man, like, wasn't so good after that engagement on middle lane, and they just found someone bot lane. Queen Tekka going in.
Yeah.
This might be a team fight.
They gotta be careful. Hermit does have the Fiend's Gate. I don't actually think he's used it a single time this game. Virgil, nice team combo to make sure that he gets to jump away. Pamplona is gonna get rooted, the heal bomb on top, and that is Pamplona taken care of. They do find the trade in favor of South team. Also, Underlord is very close to finishing up his pipe on Hermit, and that is gonna be so good against the Zeus to keep his heroes alive. Because Rina is almost done with the Scotty. Yes, there is a counter, of course. The Zeus with the shard does about 90. You know, the static field is stupidly strong, especially against high HP heroes. But getting a solid amount of HP will still be very beneficial. And I guess once the BKB is done on the TB, it's kind of a moment where they have an avenue to fight.
Yeah, for sure. Before that BKB, like exposing the TB as we saw on the tier 1 tower wasn't so good. So yeah, both teams trading farm here. Quinteca almost getting that BKB as well. And maybe the next team fight is going to burst out in favor of Balrogs actually, because they are trying to move out 3 heroes in middle lane. Ooh, almost getting that hook shot on that Downbreaker. And I mean, they are trying to do that kind of movement because they want to start out the Roshan, I feel like. Quinteca and also Benny, they have the damage to start the Roshan, and that could be a little nice addition to their like macro objective possibilities. So yeah, Balrogs reading the game well, but yeah, South team right now they are doing the same. Like not getting picked off is already something good, considering that you have a Tiny with Dagger, hookshot on Clockwork, like global pick-off possibility with Zeus. So yeah, nice job from both teams.
Quinteca is going for the Kaya Sanj next. Sorry, not Quinteca. The James is going for the Kaya Sanj next. Has finished up his Lincoln, so that's kind of solidly more survivable. I like the choice of Monty. He's going for the Wraithback, especially against the Zeus. Wraithback is just pure value. 30% damage reduction against the Zeus is everything for South team, and they're actually going to catch Hermit.
Wow.
He just gets blown up. Couldn't even pop his pipe in time, and that should probably be the tier 2 tower to stop.
This could be the tower or a Roche possibility here, but they want the tower. At least for the Roche contest, they can wait and get a Hermit up if Balrogs just starts this Roshan, but I don't think they will. Pamplona is still looking for some pickoffs here. But yeah, man, like it was huge. It was everything connected on Hermit, Nimbus, the vision for on Clockwork, hookshot, perfect execution from Balrogs. And they want again, they want to go in more.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, that's the tier 2 tower secured. It is kind of rough to defend, to take Roche against an Underlord, Coddle, and Don. Like, their team fight is insane on the side of South team, but they need to be able to like jump the Zeus first. But Robusy's not going to stay anywhere close to the enemies. They're actually going to go into the pit. If it gets scanned out, you do have the Fiend's Gate, but yeah, I think they'll just take Roche without South team even realizing that the enemy is taking Roche.
Yeah, nice damage. You get the armored reductions from the Swarm on Quinteca. And yeah, nice Roshan here. Aegis on the Bloodseeker. Benny probably gonna wait a little bit more before engaging because he has like low HP, but since he has BKB, I think they can engage without any problems. They are going to find Virgil at its best here. Yeah, it's the solo kill on Virgil.
This time around, Quinteca is going to go for the Gleipnir instead of the Mjolnir. Guess really likes the AoE route, which is pretty solid as well against the TB and all of his illusions, so that he can't run away. Speaking of TB, he is sending out his full BKB. It is delivered, and that is kind of a moment where you do have an avenue to fight. TB, I think, yeah, this and the next item, the Blink, I think is the most crucial at this stage. You need to be able to get into the middle of a team fight and start hammering away so that he doesn't get kited all over the place.
What a handsome devil.
Yeah, I mean, another pause here. Okay, Quinteca already said go. Pamplona 4-staff, trying to build a 4-staff. Benny looking forward to that butterfly. I think it's okay against Terrorblade. Not a typical hero to buy an MKB, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, shout out to Rina doing a really solid farm on these both games that we watched. And Benny, I mean, taking out the tier 1 on bottom lane, I don't think it's the best at this moment of the game, but you actually buy some map space, you dominate the triangle of the enemy, so you cut the ancient possibilities for them. It's actually a good possibility, I mean, play by Balrogs, because that's what been keeping Rina so strong, like that farm on the ancient side. So I think it's okay. Like I prefer to see a mid-low lane taking here, but yeah. So they are just gonna be comfortable getting the tower 2 out of the bottom lane.
Hermit gonna try and defend it a little bit. Will deal some damage to Benny, but of course he has an Aegis. He also has a Bash, you know, finished up. Zeus blows up Virgil, and that is again ton of damage coming out in a brief amount of time by this superbly strong Robo-Z, who has not died a single time this game.
Top tower is under attack.
Yeah, Robo-Z 905, like holding up the advantage. He's going to build an Netherlands now, it seems, so he can get like an Octarine core, which is like huge for the Zeus at this moment of the game. They are holding the advantage, net worth advantage, like really well. You gotta give it out to Balrogs, like really well played from them and it feels like they want to start here on Rina. Like Clockwork is like trying to see a good opening, but it's quite hard right now, and they found Rina actually.
And that's a big one. If Rina can stay alive, he does sunder Monty to stay alive. Is healed up back to full. However, he's still stuck in the Nimbus, and that's where the damage is going to come through. Rina does not have a way out of this area, and Rina is going to get melted. Robo-Z just has to wait out the BKB. And yeah, Rina was completely caught off from the rest of his team. They tried to heal him up in the process. They do find a kill into Pamplona at the very least, but a big fight victory for Balrogs, because they still even have the Aegis available on the Bloodseeker. He's got the Shard, and the Shard is of course a pure damage based tool which works wonders against a tanky hero like a TB.
Yeah, the pure damage is so strong, and also the fact that Benny went for a basher on his itemization, so he cannot TP out of this, even if he just uses BKB. So yeah, just waits the BKB to run out. Zeus come in, like Robo-Z didn't even face any kind of danger there. So like really well played from Balrogs. Good job. And like the punch on the stomach here on Rina, right? Because he was the top net worth, and falling like that, it certainly is a problem for South team.
Yeah, it's looking very problematic for South team right now. 8k net worth behind. Robo-Z is just honestly too strong. Hermit's fallen in terms of net worth as well.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Monty does at the very least have the Wraith Pact, but they're just never in a good position to take a fight on South team. Every single time they get engaged on, and someone gets absolutely evaporated in half a second.
Especially Virgil, right? This Marcy can't stay up for long. The damage on this hero is quite strong. Oh, and a nice pick off here on Monty. It's like the same thing. If you find any of these supports alone, they are going to be blasted. You can't do anything unless you have a BKB or like the Agony Shard on Dawnbreaker. So it doesn't like surprises me that Balrogs are having the advantage, but I feel like they need to be more conscious on their positioning, the supports. Like if they are having a bad game, they need to work that around. And oh, Tiny.
Yeah, Pamplona walked a little bit far forward. I guess he wanted to place a high ground ward there. Sneaky beaky, but encountered some opponents which were next to their base, so it's not too surprising that you encounter them there. Deka rooted up for quite some time. He's actually continuing his Shikuchi. He does have a time lapse available, but they're just going to quickly jump back. And the pipe usage will soak up all the damage from the Zeus ulti. So they're going to be forced back at the very least on the Balrog side. But James on that
They're
Kato
forcing
really...
Balrogs back. They...
Yeah,
Mhm.
James on the
What do you
Kato
mean by auto
feels
chain?
very underfarmed at the
Scanning
moment.
for enemies.
He's going for the Dagon next.
The dire scan.
I don't know, his
On the
item
hunt for
build
radiant
feels all over
forces.
the place. He didn't finish his Spirit Vessel, which was definitely a must-have against the Bloodseeker this game. He... Four-staff Kaya... I'm not really a fan of the choices he's made. I'd rather him just see, you know, get a Aghanim Scepter or... something else. Because this just feels like he does not know exactly what he wants to build.
I kind of agree with you. Like, maybe he was supposed to build an early Dagon and try to contest the opponent's positioning, movements.
Yeah, they'll
Feels
find
like
themselves
something you pick up
Virgil.
on Virgil only. I don't know.
And Hermit does try to go for Uber. No, he will get taken down by Benny also as the bash available. Brina, he's again in trouble. Is going to pop his Metamorphosis and BKB going in for Benny. Benny does not have a second life though. This time Benny will die, and that is going to be a big kill, but the toss-up comes through, and they will find Rina in return. Virgil just brought back as well. And Virgil's going to get blasted, and it looks like it might be the Balrogs to take the game.
Yeah, feels like a strong 2-0 here to me. They are now just hitting the tower, even though you don't have like the Bloodseeker up, which is like the main physical DPS damage. I think it's redundant to say like DPS damage, but it's the strongest physical damage here. And like the fact that, okay, they wasted the BKB on Bloodseeker, but he has this early butterfly up, and he like soaks up so much time out of TB damage that Quinteka already with that Mione, he can bring up and the remaining damage, and also with Pamplona, Avalanche and Toss, they get the BKB out of TB and kill him. So I don't know, man, feels like a strong 2-0 to me, as we said.
Yeah, it's
And
it's a roughie.
like, to me, it's roughy for sure. To me, it's quite curious due to the fact that this draft was possibly better than the last game's draft, but still, like, they are like they can't seem to find openings. And Rina can TP out. Okay, another BKB used though. James.
James is, yeah, he's just straight up dead.
Yeah, it's a clean pick off.
Nothing he can do. Gets blown up. 13k net with lead. Rupture thrown out. Monty
Wow.
on the other side of the river. Yeah, I think Balrogs is just gonna clean up this game and walk away with an easy victory.
Feels like so, and they are just waiting for the Roche to respawn, which is already available, so they can get this Roche, maybe give out the Agony Shard to Weaver. Doesn't have one. Tiny tree grab damage. Yeah, I'd say it's the best for Weaver, right? Because you get the Swarm that provides vision, true sight vision, I mean, on heroes that can stay invisible. So yeah, certainly the Swarm on Weaver is better. Also the effect on Germinate attack, it's better for him.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
Yeah, it's a nice addition on the Weaver. Maybe the Tiny could have taken it, but no, not the Tiny. Sorry, the actually, no, Tiny was the only other option. Yeah, then you definitely give it to the Weaver, and you don't give it to a Tiny who's in position for. I forgot that it's not Robo Z playing the Tiny this game, and everyone else already bought theirs. The Clockwork has stupidly high farm. 555 as a position 5 Clockwork is just off of Hermit's net worth. And he's got a Lotus Force and a Shard already finished up on the clock. That is ridiculously farmed.
Yeah, I agree with you. 10k net worth, like contesting Hermit's net worth as well, like an offlaner that is kinda losing the farm for a support 5 is certainly not a good signal
Dire's bottom tower
for your
is
team.
under attack.
And Queen Tekka just hitting up the tower. He has built a Skadi, Weaver with Skadi, and going in for a Basher. This game, I don't know, Truma. They need to perform a great team fight on the high ground to maybe contest any kind of possibilities. And that's it, man. Oh, hook shot.
And just another one added in the bag. It's cleanup time. This game's over. There is they have a TB, which technically is a really strong hero in the late game, but he just has no damage in those fights. The butterfly from the Bloodseeker, he doesn't die because of it. Rina is going for the MKB to try and circumvent it, but he's also the only one that deals damage. This Coddle is just... He's going Octarine, which is nice. I guess high ground defending is something that they're pretty good at on the side of South Team. But he just has zero impact in these engagements. His score is 1, 4, and 0. He has had 0. He's been part of 1 kill on the Coddle mid this entire game.
Yeah, certainly not a good scenario for a middle lane Kotal. As we mentioned, maybe that early Dagon would have been great for him because you join the team fights early, you get the pick off here and there, maybe an early Agonies as you mentioned before you get like strong BKBs on Balrog's side. I don't know, man, the way he went for his item build, like a really defensive item build didn't add up to the necessity of buying space for TB. They already lost every map space they have. They lost 2 Roshians in a row. So I have to agree with you. It's a sad reality here for South Team.
Yeah, it's definitely a rough game, rough series, and of course, if this would be a win for Balrogs, we would have a 3-way tiebreaker to be played to decide which of these 3 teams would be relegated. So it is pretty big for Balrogs if they can actually extend this tournament life for them a little bit longer, which looks very likely. Rina does have the MKB done. They're gonna smoke out, look for a fight. Can they get a big catch? I mean, RoboZ would be the best because, of course, the Zeus still hasn't died this game. He has the AoE Lightning Bolt now as well. Which works on Nimbus, which is actually kind of fun. Zeus ult to use, and 5 for 5 in the trees. He knows that they're coming his direction, and he's just gonna try and fly to safety. He is going to be hunted. There's the Zeus Sap on top. 5 for 5 is going to get taken down, but look at how much time and effort it's costing South Team to kill off a support position 5 Clockwork, who's still not dead, finally does die.
Oh my god.
But they need to TP out. The arena's just blown up. Arena is just absolutely disappeared. Benny with a double kill. Virgil's going to be relocate summoned back by the Coddle at the very least. But yeah, nothing to get back.
Nice movements there out of 555. He bought so much time that everyone managed to come close and like fetch a kill, a good kill on TB, which like it's a 2.8 KHP TB. And he can't like stand the damage out of Zeus and also from Bloodseeker and Queen Tekka. Oh man. And like for a moment there I thought Clockwork was going to stay alive, but yeah, he ended up dead. But yeah, they recovered the gem anyway, so no huge loss for Balrogs. And they are now like going high ground.
Might just get taken down, and yeah, they do get a kill. 100 seconds, no Queen Tekka. Benny is actually dropping pretty low, but blown up from the side. Has bought an Ags on the tiny position 4. Okay, now they're starting to meme, and it's gonna cost them a couple of deaths. I don't think you can start memeing just yet on them.
Yeah, I mean, the Aghanim's, considering they are controlling the map so fine, this Tiny can scale up a bit and get maybe a Daedalus, but up until that Aghanim Scepter certainly is a mimish item, so we need to wait a little bit more to see that Tiny implementing a good damage on his skill, 3 volley skill, and that's pretty much it. And like, it's a... Oh, they want more actually. I was trying to
555.
consider something, but Rina...
What the frick? Rina almost gets blown up. He needs to find a rupture target. Ruptures Benny. They get the kill. Benny's dead. Doesn't have revival available, but that is pretty huge. The problem is, again, RoboZ is just pumping out damage from behind, and they can't really hurt him. But the net worth advantage has dwindled pretty quickly. And the problem is Rina's Metamorphosis is about to end. That's a big downtime. Hermit with the pipe is pretty useful. Virgil tosses back RoboZ. They're going to go in onto the Zeus. Force him back! And that is a very huge kill. RoboZ is dead. Tier 3 tower is gone. They're going to be the first ones breaking the racks onto South Team. They're going to go for tier 4s, but of course there are 2 buybacks available on Balrogs. And they're waiting until the Metamorphosis is over. Zeus ulti comes in the hookshot on the side. They're going to try and blow them up quickly. Arena, no BKB available. Does have a Sunder in a second, but Queen Tekka with the right click damage comes in. Double kill secured on the Weaver. And they are going to wipe this South team almost off the face of the earth. But it was a double buyback forced out. No Metamorphosis for 50 seconds, but if they kill off RoboZ and Queen Tekka and Benny again, this could be the game for South team.
Wow. Great openings here from South Team. You'd never expect that. It started with a good high ground defense. And I mean, okay, they want to force out some buybacks out from South Team as well, but Benny, if he exposes his hero just a little bit in the wrong side, he can get picked off and like be dead without buyback. The same goes for RoboZ. So they are so hesitant on going high ground and trying to force those buybacks, which is huge for South Team, and it will come to like contesting the next Roshan with Benny and also RoboZ, and like if they don't get a nice result on that Rosh attempt, man, like South Team is going to perform that comeback, and I'd say nobody's expecting that. Truman, I mean, I have a little smile on my face right now, like that smirk. And it's amazing, man. That's why we love Dota 2. That's everything I have to say. Oh my god, man. Seriously.
There's still a chance. There's still a little bit of hope on the side of South Team. Now, TB is back. Respawn has Metamorphosis available. Minute 20 until Roche respawns. And that's definitely going to be a crucial one to pick up. Because that's the third one. Either a free Ags or a free Shard. And you would rather have either, or maybe even both. A little bit too far away for Vilgit to get the catch. Actually, Rina forced to pop the BKB. Hookshot's not going to connect. He sunders a Monty just to make sure that he's walking around with full HP and will be able to disengage. But that's no BKB for 80 seconds on the TB. And that is pretty big because Zeus is just going to be able to eat him up with that refresh orb finished.
Yeah, certainly the BKB usage on TB is a problem. I don't know, would you consider a refresher on TB? I don't think so, right? It's not a good item on TB.
It is,
because like 2 BKBs here, it's decent for him.
It is. I actually do like the refresher on him, especially because you get double Metamorphosis as well in the fight. I think Satanic might be, like, he could probably out-heal the damage, considering there is no Skadi or, like, Shivas on the Balrog side, or Spirit Vessel. They have no healing reduction, so Satanic is a really good item for the TP. And he just needs to be able to be tanky enough. Oh, Roche has a free Aghanim Scepter as well, and they have no idea that Roche is up on the side of the South team, so that should be a free Ags to pick up. And the question is it going to go to... No, Blood Mist, absolute ass. Probably going to go to Queen Tekka for the saving play.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's already saving up a slot here. So yeah, there we go. Time lapse on Quinteka. We actually mentioned that
Gives it
ability
actually to 5 for
on
5.
the. Whoa, they actually gave out to Clockwork. Yeah. I mean, okay. Maybe you just wait Benny's buyback to come back. Like stall that game for more 4 minutes. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, they kind of just need to wait until they have the buybacks available on the Balrog side. Because if they walk up the high ground and die, then you actually just lost the game. Considering everyone on South Team still have their buybacks available. So this age is just going to be able to get used to make sure that they have their buybacks in time, I guess, on the Balrog side. And then maybe they can catch the enemies off guard. They are 30k ahead. Oh, Virgil. Thanks that smoke.
They're going to find Virgil.
Oh, he's gone though. We'll be disengaging Swift Blink bot on the TB. What? Okay. Zeus does catch out Hermit, and Hermit is dead. The Rupture thrown on Virgil as well. He's stuck in the trees. Double kill secured. Quinteka
Yeah,
has
maybe
an
now
abyssal
you
blade.
try to go up high ground.
Quinteka has an abyssal blade on a
He
weaver.
does.
And he's got the Scotty. So he's the one that actually has the healing
Yeah.
reduction. There's an abyssal blade on a weaver. My god, this man.
Uh-huh. I got to agree with you. And he's also going for Swift Dagger, right? Swift Blink.
Wait, on
Man,
the weaver?
this game.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I feel like they need to pressure and maybe force the buyback. Yeah, what up? Tell me, Truman.
Honestly, South Team, the only thing they can do is high ground defense and hope that you can get a good catch on the Marcy. Maybe if the Zeus stands out of position, you could get that catch, but it is... Balrogs do not want to risk a comeback here. Because they have realized that if the TB gets some right clicks in, you can die. They definitely are a little bit terrified on the Balrog side of things with throwing this game away.
Yeah. Like, they need to force out, but once you don't have buybacks, certainly makes you hesitant. And there we go, man. Like, burning up Aegis time. And they are just, like, controlling that side of the map there and gonna cancel Monty's TP. Which is a good pick-off for them. Like, not huge. But yeah, like, Balrogs felt like the entire match, they were controlling the map space better. Like, I don't know, man. This game... What do you expect from it? And if they find James here, it's so bad for them.
Oh my god, Quinteka. That was an interesting move. Jeez, that was a scary prospect. You're blinking on the enemy's high ground. Hello? Oh, back. I'm happy that they got rid of the unlocked movement speed from Shikuchi. Because remember when you had unlocked movement speed on Shikuchi and you had the spider legs? You pop spider legs, you pop Shikuchi, and then you walk up the enemy's high ground with 1,000 movement speed, say hi, and then Shikuchi back down. It's like, okay, cool. That monster is just unkillable.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Like, you need to limit out those movement speed. Like, support, if you are playing as a support in this kind of situation, you just look at the hero going away with a tear on your face. Yeah, you can't do much about it, you just cry.
That is Dota. The ultimate Dota experience. They're trying to find the courier in the trees. He's just, like, scurrying it about. Maybe he can get it back. What is he actually? Okay, he's going for the Basher on the Marcy, which is getting close to being done. Did go for it last game as well on Virgil, but this time he at least bought a blink beforehand. Clockwork's level 25. Spell immunity inside power cogs.
That's insane, especially due to the fact that they gave the Aghanim to him, so he can use like double cogs, be immune to magic twice. That's something really good. And about Marcy's Basher, I think it's a okay item. I mean, it got to a point that Marcy needs so much item to do something, especially a BKB. And due to the fact that Balrogs is controlling all the map space, that won't be a possibility at all, unless they lose a good team fight, just like the last one, where Balrogs kind of did a mistake on the high ground. So yeah, I mean, Marcy needs a lot here to do something.
It's all on Rina, but there's just no chance that Rina can do everything alone. Zeus can just scout with his ulti. Quinteka is seeing if he can spot a lone ranger walking about on the side of South Team and catch him off guard, blow him up. Monty's got a pretty nice toolkit for defensives, with defensives, Wraith Pack, Holy Locket, Lotus Orb, Solar Crest, Hermit as well, with the Heaven's Halberd and the Pipe. But honestly, the damage that they'll be able to take is just so incredibly immense in a short amount of time if they get on top of them. 40k net worth advantage right now. And still not pushing the high ground. Waiting for Roche number
40K.
4.
Yeah, it was like that hit on RoboZ and Benny's buyback certainly paid off for South Team to hold up the game a little bit more. And yeah, playing for the Roshan, it's good. But one thing that happened that couldn't have happened was the fact that South Team was late on this last Roshan. Like, they need to contest the Roshan, these Roshans. Oh, Quinteka.
Going in onto Monty. Did pop his BKB, the rupture onto Hermit. Hermit's in trouble. Hermit is very dead. Tries to go for the Uber Gate TP back to the fountain, but unfortunately will not be able to get it off, and that's the double kill secured. For the side of Balrogs, did cost a refresher orb usage, but might be an avenue for him to start walking up the high ground now that the Underlord is dead.
Dire's top tower is
Yeah,
under
now it's a good time to force that buyback because Benny has his buyback available, so it's like, it's way more easier, right? To not lose the game right here. Oh, 555.
Taking some damage,
tower
but
is under attack.
problem is Rina has uses Metamorphosis, so they could actually just walk up the high ground, to be fair, because no meta means no fear from the TB.
You're actually right. That's a good time to have a refresher on his side or
Benny's gonna get jumped. Rina going in. Does he have the right foot damage? But Benny turns around, heals up thanks to the shard.
Wow.
There's the heal in return. He can just disengage. Monty did buy back for this, but Benny is too far gone. And Rina, he didn't have the shard, so if he had the shard, he would have been able to kill off Benny there. 5 for 5 at the very least will die. Roche is up in 20 seconds, and that is a must-need tool for South Team if they want to have even the slimmest of chances to come back into this game. If you get a nice Ags on the TB, you could get a very good backline, Swift Link, Terror Wave, and maybe spread the entire fight apart for Balrogs. They don't know that Roche is up.
100% agree with you. Yeah, Roche is up. They can force out Clockwork's buyback. Probably Quinteka on the front line.
That doesn't have buyback available. Rina's dead as
No
well.
buyback.
Okay. Quinteka is a god. Hello? Rapier bot on the Weaver. And yep. That's a full team wipe. That Quinteka.
Swift Blink. Divine Rapier.
Abyssal Blade. Yeah.
Man.
I think this might be the missing tool. You know, the one thing that they were missing this entire season. This Quinteka right here.
Dire's middle barracks is full.
Buyback from
Benny's
TV.
like popping out that little mouth. Oh, the chat, man.
Under attack.
Okay, buyback from TB, but he's alone. Like, Quinteka doesn't even bother. He's just gonna hit the tower 4 here and also the throne. It's GG, man. Solid 2-0 for Balrogs for sure. And we are going to have a 3-way tie. on the tiebreakers, Truman.
Yep, that is going to be a three-way tie this season for at least the relegation matches. There's probably also going to be some tiebreakers to be played in the advancement matches. But it does mean that it will be, well, an interesting affair still a little bit longer into this weekend. Because I'm quickly going to have to scout it out. Gorilla's Pride, South Team, and Balrogs are going to be playing up against each other this weekend for the tiebreakers. There was a little bit of a gap where there might have been a chance here for South Team, but unfortunately for them, they are struggling right now. RoboZ, a singular death this game. And honestly, zero impact coming, unfortunately, out of James on that Coddle. Like, I just never really saw him realistically do anything for that matter. But yeah, a three-way tie does mean that I think they're going to be best of ones. And then it's just going to be like until one team loses, pretty much, in the best of ones to decide who is going to advance on. One team loses both the games. But yeah, that concludes our cast for the day. Any last words for the viewers at home?
Well, thanks for hearing me out. I'm Arjarath. You can check my socials if you want to check my work a little bit more. And I'm a Brazilian caster. Thank you for having me, Truman. Once again, it's a pleasure to be here with you, casting those games. So yeah, thank you, everyone. And also thank you, Truman.
Yeah, it's always a blast covering the games with you. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully the chat enjoyed it as well. And in case we don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. There is some more Dota to be witnessed on Thursday, so we'll see you then. Goodbye.